Hi, this is Kerry with Filmmaker Central, and today we've got some news. We've got a firmware update for the DJI Osmo Action. And while I really love the Osmo Action and I use it way more than I thought I was going to, there's certainly a few things that could stand to be improved, and firmware is going to be the way they do it. One thing that really bugs me is the lag when you're running rock steady. I'd really like to see adjustable rock steady, like a high, medium, and low, so that I could get more field of view with a little less stabilization. That would be fantastic. We're still waiting on external microphone support. That hasn't come yet, so we're waiting for that. Other than that, there isn't a lot, but anything that they can do to improve it is going to be worthwhile. And they recently announced the underwater housing for it, which is fairly inexpensive. It was like 49 bucks, so not too shabby. And along with that, the extension rod and well, I guess that was the two latest accessories, was the underwater housing and the extension rod. And yesterday we had a MIMO update, which didn't add a whole lot of new features per se, but it really improved the editor that's in it. Instead of being this weird kind of clunky stacked version of your clips, it's now track based. So you have a video track and you have an audio track, and I really like it. It's a much better way of editing because it feels more like a standard nonlinear editor. So really like that. Good job on that. But today we get a firmware update, and it has a handful of things that are mostly cosmetic, but there's two that affect image quality. So the first feature is underwater under automatic white balance. And if you've ever shot a GoPro underwater, it tends to come out really weird looking unless you have a red filter on it. So having automatic white balance for underwater is pretty big, because if you use standard auto white balance, it's just not going to work right. So underwater white balance, pretty cool. When you're reviewing photos, you can double tap to enlarge them and zoom in, so that's a handy feature. And before, if you shot in portrait mode and you played it back, it just played it vertically on the screen, and now you can tilt it and get full screen playback of portrait mode. There's a new feature where the screen automatically turns off 3 seconds after finishing a snapshot. Not a feature that I'm really interested in. They've added a shutter and exposure display when you're in auto mode. Kind of handy for display purposes, not really useful for too much. There's an EV adjustment for auto ISO in manual mode now, so that's kind of handy. And when you're running rock steady, the only way to know was there was an icon on the back, and now they've added an icon to the front, so that's pretty handy as well. Let's see, what else? They added Spanish and Russian languages to it, so if you're Spanish or Russian, it'll be a lot easier to use now. They increased the loading speed of photos and videos when using playback with DJI MIMO, so that's a nice improvement. And my favorite improvement in this firmware is optimized video sharpness when you're using D-Cinelike. Now, I only use D-Cinelike on here because I'll match it to Mavic 2 Pro, I'll match it to Sony a7 III footage or Sony RX100 footage, and having a flatter color profile certainly makes it a lot easier to color match that. And if I'm going to be using multiple cameras all at the same time, you know, for different, all mixed into the same shoot, I can set them all on Cinelike, and it makes my color grading so much easier just to be able to apply the same LUTs and kind of knock it out real fast. So the video sharpness is much improved in here. So let's take a quick look at some footage that I shot using the new firmware. So thanks for watching. I hope you like this update for the Osmo Action. Pretty cool new things. I'm especially happy with the optimized sharpening with the D-Cinelike. Although DJI, I really wish you would allow us to adjust the sharpening for our own preferences. I'd prefer it to be turned down a little bit like I can on all of your other products, except the Osmo Pocket. But everything else, I have control over my detail saturation and sharpening, and I really wish you'd do the same thing with the Osmo Action and the Osmo Pocket so that we have, as filmmakers, more control over what we're shooting. So thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kerry with Filmmaker Central. Check out filmmakercentral.com and the Facebook group at Filmmaker Central. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.